Welcome back, class. Okay, so before we move on to other subjects, a part of the subjects we're going to be talking about is sentence structure. And so before we move on, I want to just give just a little more explanation about finite verbs so that moving forward we understand why some clauses are independent and some are dependent. So the main thing to know about verb phrases that are finite, meaning that they can stand alone without anything else, is these simple few rules. There has to be one main verb involved and a subject, and it has to match in what they call tense, number, and person, like we have here. So tense meaning the time period, is it past, present, or future? Does it match? Number, does the number of the subject match the tense? And person, does the first, second, or third person match the verb, main verb? It has to be one main one though. So in these examples, let me go to this first. Dad is sad. Now this is a complete thought, obviously. It makes a sentence. Dad is the subject, is the verb. And this is an adjective. It just says dad is sad. Now if you took sad off, it could be dad is. And you don't have to put nothing else. They would consider that a complete thought, like the rest of these, because they match in tense, number, and person. And a finite verb is just that. Let me read the definition of a finite verb. A finite verb is a conjugated verb. In its finite state, though, the verb reveals whether it is a first person doing it, second person doing it, or third, someone else is doing it. And so with that being said, let me just go through the examples. And then I'll give you examples of what is not considered complete thoughts. So you got these things. He is. They are. We are. Tam speaks. They dance. We started. Junior is. Deborah cries. Dad is sad. Now I explained that. All of the rest of these sentences have one main verb, and so does this. And the main verb here is. Mom can. The main verb is can. The subject is mom. Sister steps. The verb is steps. I step. The subject is me. I step. I can't say I steps. I say I step. It matches in tense and person and number. Since it's only one, in order for it to match in present tense, you just write step because you're only one person and it's first person. And for third person, sister steps. For this to be a complete thought, you put an S at the end of steps because you don't say sister step, you say sister steps. Mom can. This is in black because it's a slight bit different. It has a verb, but it also has an adjective. All of these are just subjects and verbs. See, Deborah cries. Junior is. They are. We are. Tom speaks. That's all you need for a complete thought. That's it. Nothing else. I could take sad off and put dad is, and that would be enough. But I wanted to demonstrate, though, just demonstrate that I don't need sad because is the main verb. It's the only verb in there. All right, let me show you some examples of what are not complete thoughts and why. So these right here, if it don't show tense, number, or person, if it's infinitive, has a participle, and a gerund. Gerunds are verbs in ing form and sometimes used as adjectives. And there's not one main verb. So here we go. She is going. Okay, this is not a complete thought. Something else has to go after this or before it. because the main verb here is. And you got this verb, going. There's two verbs here for one. And then on top of that, this is a gerund. A gerund is a verb that you basically add ing to. And a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times they're used as adjectives. I got an example. Just stay with me. So she is. Now she is would be fine as a complete thought due to what we talked about. It shows tense, number, and then you got the one main verb. But there's no one main verb here. You got going, and then on top of that, it's ing. So that makes it this word what they call a gerund. It's a verb when you add ing to it. And it is also sometimes used as an adjective. Okay. They have been. They have been cannot be used as a independent clause or complete thought. They have been is not a complete thought. Why? Because it is what you call a participle. Have been, has to, like this one, we'll get to it. Have been. If it's have been is a participle. It's not a finite verb. And also, let me add something else to that explanation. I can replace they with I. Okay? I could say I have been. So that don't match in person, you see? Because this can be replaced with I or they. It can't be replaced with let me see. If I put she has, no. They have been. Well, I have been. So see, it still don't match in person. You can put something else here. Anytime you can put something else there, that means it don't match in person. And again, have been is a participle. So that's two reasons why this is not a complete thought. He has to go. Now, I could take to go off and put he has. That would be a complete thought. You got he, which is the verb. I'm sorry, he is the subject. Has is the verb. Simple, right? And it matches in person and tense. But if I say to go, he has to go. That would not be, that is in a dependent clause because there's this infinitive here, to go. Anytime you put to in front of a verb, that's called an infinitive. So therefore, this is not a complete thought. Has would be the main verb, but this is here too, so there's no one verb. If it's one main verb, then it's a complete thought. So I take this off. Now you got a complete thought. But he has to go. That's not a complete thought because of this infinitive to go. He has to go where? All right. Now you got two verbs here, will and decide. She will decide. No, that's not a complete thought because you got two verbs. Will, you have to have one main verb or one or just one. She will makes a complete thought. You could say she will, or you could even take will out and put an S at the end of decide so that tense, number, and person can match. And you could say she decides or she decided. Those are complete thoughts, but not she will decide. It's two verbs, will and decide. But like I said, if I took decide out, I could say she will, and that's a complete thought. Or if I took will out and put an S at the end of decide and say she decides, that's perfectly fine. That's a complete thought because you only got one verb and one subject. And putting an S at the end of decide makes it match in tense, number, and person. Last one, Sleeping Beauty. Okay, this is the gerund I'm talking about. So anytime you got a verb, sleep, you put ing at the end of it, it is a gerund. And in this case, it's being used as a, not a noun, but it is a adjective. Sleeping Beauty. That's really an adjective, not a noun. But together as a group, they're a noun, a sleeping beauty. And again, a gerund, not a participle. Gerund, because it's got ing. Okay, participles are these, which I'll get into more later. Have been, will have, and that's basically it. So you got infinitives, participle, gerund, and one main verb. And as we see here, this one got two verbs. This one has an infinitive. This is a participle. This is a gerund. This is also a gerund. None of these are considered complete thoughts. They would be considered dependent clauses that you got to add something to. All right, y'all. All right, that's about it. If you got any questions, please utilize that comment section or anything you want to teach me. Please use that comment section. I'll see you for the next one.